So we know that when we name an ionic compound, we merely name the cation and then the anion. So we've looked at how to name cations. Now we're going to look at anions. So there are two types of anions: monoatomic, ions that are based on one atom that has gained electrons, or polyatomic, which is a molecule, so more than one atom that has gained an electron or 2 electrons or 3 electrons. Anions always have the same charge. So unlike cations, which can have a variable charge, anions always have the same charge. So let's look first at monoatomic anions. Monoatomic anions are always made of nonmetals, and their name is the element root and ends in "ide." So this ion here, it's monoatomic. There's only one atom. It's based on the chlorine atom that has gained an electron, so it's chloride. This is one atom, it's monoatomic, and the oxygen atom has gained 2 electrons, so it's O2 minus oxide. So as I said, the charge of an anion never changes, and we can determine what the charge of a monoatomic anion is based on its family. So the halides, or the halogen family, are always -1. The nonmetals in the oxygen family, oxide, sulfide, selenide, are always -2. And nitride and phosphide, which are not as common, are always -3. So if we take a look at the periodic table, the nonmetals are always going to be negative, and we can tell their charge by how far away they are from the noble gases. So one column away from the noble gases, -1. The oxygen family is 2 columns away, so -2. And nitrogen and phosphorus, -3. Now we look at polyatomic ions. Most of them have a charge of -1 or -2. A few have a charge of -3. And there's a list in your textbook of the polyatomic ions, and it's in your best interest to memorize the name, the charge, and the formula of these polyatomic ions. Okay, so as I was saying, polyatomic ions, this is how it's referred to in your textbook. It's basically a molecule that has gained electrons. Now, a very common type of polyatomic ions, your textbook calls oxoanions. Other textbook calls them oxyanions. And this is a large group of polyatomic ions that have oxygen in them. Now, I want to point out a specific group of anions that have oxygen in them. So, excuse me, these are polyatomic ions that have oxygen and halogens. And the names and formulas. So, the names and formulas of. So, in your textbook, the chlorine and oxygen polyatomic ions are listed. So hypochlorite ClO minus, chlorite ClO2 minus, chlorate ClO3 minus, and perchlorate ClO4 minus. The other halo-oxygen polyatomic ions are not listed, but they follow the same format. So BRO minus is hypobromite, and IO minus is hypoiodite. BR2 minus is bromite, IO2 minus is iodite. BRO3 minus is bromate, and IO3 minus is iodate. And BRO4 minus is perbromate, and IO4 minus is iodate. Excuse me, periodate. So the bromine and iodine oxygen polyatomic ions are not listed, but they follow the same trend as the chlorine oxygen ones, and they have the same charge, and they have the same prefix and suffix. So now you know the names of the anions, and you're ready to start naming ionic compounds.